call this meeting to order at 10:02 a.m. For the record, let it reflect that 2 of the 3 board members are present today, Amy Papish and Candy Burbick, and John Garrity is absent. Can I get, we're going to approve the minutes, approve the agenda for today, May 1st, 2025. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Thank you. I will second that motion, and since we are the only 2 board members here present, that motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from March 6th, please?
So moved.
Thank you. I will second that motion, and once again, since we're the 2 board members present, that motion passes. We will now open it up to public comments and the attendance of the guest participants. So in order to do that, if we could just go around the room and have everybody introduce themselves, I would appreciate it for the record, starting over here with Pat.
Attorney Pat Lowry.
Thank you.
Dr. Alvin Lowry.
Thank you.
Mike Donallo, Administrator at the Woodlands.
Thank you.
Kayla Butcher, Portage County Guardianship Case Manager.
Thank you.
Megan Hardy, Court Investigator, Probate Court.
Thank you.
Aaron DeBoard, Court Manager, Probate Court.
Thank you.
Heather Diakinishi, Magistrate Court Administrator, Probate Court.
Thank you.
Tammy Riley, Magistrate Probate Court.
Thank you.
Norma Thomas, Investigator.
Thank you so much. At this time, are there any public comments?
I do have a general question, if I may.
Yes.
If you have a public records request, would that go directly to the director, or do you have someone else designated to receive those?
Are you talking about public records for the Portage County Guardianship Service Board?
Uh-huh.
Then it would come to me.
Thank you.
Sure. I believe that Mike Donallo will want to make some comments when we're dealing with our item in Roman numeral 4B.
Understood. Okay, we will reserve his comments for that time. Okay, hearing no other comments, we will move on to the financial report that will be presented by Diana.
Thank you very much. So we're a third of the way into the quarter. We're not quite all the way through April. The report was run as of April 28th, so that covers almost 4 months, or a third of the year. So far, we've received the full amount of support from Portage County Board of Developmental Disabilities and the Mental Health and Recovery Board. Their contributions of $100,000 each have been received and deposited into the fund. With respect to JFS, the $40,000 that was pledged has been finalized by MOU, but we bill that on a per invoice basis. We have received $9,000, but that was invoiced in 2024 for services under the 2024 agreement, but it was received after the first of the year. As it concerns PCGSB fee collection, this is a new income line that we added because we have been receiving some fees for guardianship administrative services. And so I did a projection for the year, thinking that we might be able to take in approximately $10,000 of that. So far, there have been several cases where we were paid administrative fees out of the estate, and then another case where attorneys have requested the probate court approve fees to be paid to us. So I think we've collected administrative fees on 5 cases so far. As it concerns, I'll just say briefly, in the cases where the attorneys requested a set amount, $750, that was just determined to be fair on their part and approved by the court. In a couple of instances, I billed the rep payee for the work that had deceased and had money in their estate account. Social Security allows county fees to be paid out of those funds. So I billed the rep payee accounts $50 per month that we had provided guardianship administrative fees. Social Security allows, they used to allow $50 a month for rep payee fees. I think it's up to $54 now. But I thought, just as a conservative measure, I didn't believe there would be any concern or issue with the $50 a month. And then the 2 rep payee cases where we did submit that invoice, they had no question about it and did pay those invoices.
Wonderful. Thank you.
So we'll continue to proceed in that manner. As it concerns salaries and wages, like I said, we're a third of the way through the year, and we're on budget for those expenditures. In terms of operations and administrative expenses, we've only spent 13% of the funds, the $10,500 that we have budgeted in that category. Under professional services, we have been billed some legal services, but I don't think that had hit the books yet. So Richatelli and Polos, as you recall, we approved their MOU at the last meeting. They did stand in on a couple of cases for us, and I did submit those invoices to be paid. It just hadn't run through yet. But we have $10,000 in that account. As it concerns utilities, that's just our mobile phones. We're at 33% there, so we're on track for those expenditures for the year. In terms of training and professional development, I decided to join the Ohio Guardianship Association for all of our employees, and so that was a $150 fee. In addition, we asked Michaela to undergo the notary training, so both Michaela and Stephanie are notaries now, so that we always have someone on hand to be able to notarize our documents or any documents for our boards that need to be notarized. With respect to gasoline and mileage, this is our monthly mileage reimbursement that we submit for traveling to see our boards or on PCGSB business. We're at about 19% of that, so we're certainly under budget for that. So overall for the year so far, we're under budget about 1.68%. In terms of our income though, I would note that as you know, the Board of Commissioners declined cash funding for us this year and instead offered to provide office space for us because we were losing our NDS office space. So that's why we don't have any Board of Commissioners income listed under revenues. We did put the proposed or contemplated funding from the probate court on there. We are still in the process of getting the draft MOU finalized, and we don't have it for today's meeting, but I anticipate between now and the next meeting that we'll have that to review and finalize. And the judge is waiving it even as we speak. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Diana.
And also let the record reflect that Judge Patricia Smith did join us. So that's pretty much it for the financial report. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
I do not have any
On the
questions.
numbers.
Candy?
I do not.
And as part of the financial report as well, I've got the draft memorandum of understanding from the Board of Commissioners pertaining to the lease of the 3 offices. It's in the Riddle Building, so immediately adjacent to Huntington Bank is a hallway, and those 3 offices are off of that hallway. According to the MOU, the office space would be rent-free. They will allocate at cost some cost for the utilities. I would imagine it's going to be pretty minimal because the 3 offices I think are like 10 by 13 feet each. So I don't have an estimate as to what that's going to be, but I'd be shocked if it's more than $100 a month because the offices are so small. We're required to provide all equipment and furniture, which makes sense. I had already talked with Jordan Jones about getting hooked up to the internet over there that serves CASA, which I think is going to be relatively easy to do, so we're still working on that. We're anticipating moving the offices sometime in July. Like I mentioned before the meeting, the delay is because the county needed to switch out the doors and put lockable doors on those 3 suites, and the lead time to order the doors kept getting pushed back. So right now we expect the doors to be delivered and installed by either the end of June or the beginning of July. So if there aren't any questions on the proposed MOU, there are a couple of typos that I'll ask Shannon to have cleaned up before we execute it. But other than that, content-wise, I don't see any problem with it. So I would ask the board to please, when they approve the the financial report, to also approve the MOU.
Okay, thank you. Candy, do you have any concerns with the proposed MOU before we
No, I
get
didn't
to a
see
motion?
any.
Okay, great. Okay, then I'm asking for a motion to approve the budget report through April 28th and the MOU with the Board of Commissioners.
Yes, so moved.
And I will second that, and since we are the only two, the motion carries.
Thank you. So I already covered the guardianship administration fees and how we're approaching that. Since you approved the budget report, I'm taking that as an approval to keep that new income line in there that it allows for those administrative fees. Is that okay, Amy?
I am fine with that. Candy, do you have any issues?
No.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So moving on to the executive director's report, in terms of the operations overview, we are at 52 wards currently. That's less than last month, but as you know, we've lost several wards in the last few months. We haven't even been operating 2 years, and we've lost 13 of wards and prospective wards. 2 wards passed away while our guardianship hearing was pending. 11 passed away after we were appointed, but some of those were for very short duration. There are only 3 wards where we served as guardian for 12 to 14 months before they passed away. 10 of them died less than a year after appointment or referral. So these are cases that were referred to us by APS, the court, and 2 from a hospital. 6 of them had been referred to us from nursing homes. All of these wards were in nursing homes at the time they passed away. So in terms of the total guardianship referrals received to date, like I said, we've been operating just under 2 years. We've had 85 total referrals. We filed 81 applications. We currently serve 52 wards. We have 9 pending guardianship hearings. We have 4 referrals that applications have not yet been filed on. We have 1 AOT case. So of all the adult guardianship cases, open and active in Portage County, there are 632, of which 79 are adult public guardianship cases. So of the public guardianship cases, of those 79, we account for 52 of them, which is almost 66%. So we have almost 2/3 of all the public guardianship cases now under our care. So in terms of visits, we visited wards 82 times during the month of March. We traveled 1,207 miles. So we've been pretty busy in that regard. So that's kind of an overview of where we've been since the last meeting and so far this year. I'd next like to discuss what we adopted last meeting, which was the nursing home referrals. We adopted a letter and a proposed form of invoice. We did have 4 referrals, 2 from Majestic Care and 2 from Woodlands Nursing and Rehabilitation. And with each of those, the care facilities were not able to pay those referral fees. And so it created a little bit of a challenge in that I know Woodlands had a client who was in serious challenge because she had a cancer diagnosis and needed authorization for treatment. You'll see this chart in terms of pending nursing home referrals. So, Judge, do you need a copy?
Yeah, please, sorry.
No, that's fine. There you go. So, I would point out, and I think I've talked with you about this before, Amy, of these 5 referrals, 4 of them had either mental health issues or developmental disability issues. And so I think it's important to note that when we get a nursing home referral, most of these people fall in categories for which we're already funded, which is to help people with developmental disabilities and to help people with mental health issues. Unfortunately, one of these referrals from Majestic Care, we were referred on March 13th, and she passed away on April 17th before any action could be taken on that because it wasn't a pending status. And We had asked Majestic Care if they could accommodate the referral fee, and that was not able to be accommodated. So, and that particular person suffered not only from an intellectual disability, but schizophrenia and had cancer as well. So I think at this time, Administrator Mike Donalo from Woodlands had asked if he could come and talk to the board today and explain Woodlands' position with respect to the requested care facility referral fees. And so with
That
your
would be great.
permission, I'd like to go ahead and let Mike address the board.
Thank you for inviting us here today to talk on behalf of the Woodlands and our residents and families. And thank you for making the provision so our most recent case could be submitted and expedited to help
Thank you.
Ms. Kelly. So the situation with nursing homes, we run a very tight budget with respect to our bottom line. Medicaid, you may or may not know, is a situation that's, the budget's not been determined for the next fiscal year, and that we'll find out here hopefully in the next month, because it starts July 1st. And so that, you know, in nursing homes, when somebody's on a Medicaid payer, they're likely, in most cases, we're losing on those cases from a financial standpoint. Where nursing homes make most of their bottom line is on the skilled patients that are coming from the hospital, and we're billing Medicare and the different types of Medicare plans or commercial plans. So, you know, we're day to day looking at labor, making sure we're not running over. I mean, there's focus calls. So what I'm trying to explain is that there's just not money. I don't have a line item for guardianship fees. Then on the other side, I've been working with Norma for several years, and she's been great in trying to connect us to an attorney in the community that might help, and we've accomplished some of that. But I was so excited when Diane Clark came to the building and presented this opportunity to work with you and your group, and you guys have been amazing to work with. I mean, the follow through, the nature in which you quickly respond and are competent is super helpful. And I'm excited about the opportunity to continue to help the seniors that come to the Woodlands that need a guardian to step in, and you guys know all the reasons why. So in most cases, what we need help with is, yes, healthcare decisions, but also getting people eligible for Medicaid. And when we don't have a power of attorney that's designed to be able to speak to financial institutions, life insurance companies, banks, then we're kind of at a stopping place in terms of proceeding without somebody who has the authority to talk to these institutions, to get verifications to the county, to get Medicaid approved so they can get the health care that they need. A lot of times they're not safe to go home. And so what the benefit for the Portage County seniors is having that person that can step up and move things through the system quickly, and get them the help that they need and the payer sources in place. Most of the time, these folks are eligible for Medicaid. You just need to have your ducks in a row and get it pushed through the system, so they have a payer source. You know, sometimes go ahead.
I do have a question. So, do you have internally a Medicaid liaison that if you had a guardian for the ward, that your Medicaid liaison would actually do the Medicaid application? Or is that
Yeah,
something
we
you're
handle all
looking?
that.
You do?
Yeah, our
Thank
business
you.
office manager, yes. So, you know, that's the nature of where we're stuck. We'd love to have the service, and I say, well then why don't you pay for it? Right, it's just, we're not accustomed to it. $1,000 for guardian of a person is a little steep. And I get, maybe it shouldn't be zero, but 1,000 just isn't something we can do, especially if you have a case that's somebody's on board and they pass away within a few months, 10 months, you know, it's projecting it out. So I don't know if there's a way, I don't know if Social Security would fund this type of thing, or if Medicaid has provision to help with guardianship guardianship fees for nursing homes. That's something I can check into and follow up at the next meeting. We have a lot of specialists within our company that may know that already. Or come up with like a flat quarterly fee of some sort that I could put in front of the budget folks at our company and see if that's doable.
I will say, as was mentioned before, we are billing an administrative fee of $50 a month to the extent that they have Rep A accounts that can support it or other assets that can support it. Perhaps we could work something out with a $50 a month administrative fee that could be worked into some of these cases. But I agree with Mike, the referrals that I've seen from the nursing homes, they're almost all indigent Medicaid dependent clients. The few that have estates, we've collected fees in those cases. So I think that the challenge here is we have extremely vulnerable adults in nursing homes, the majority of which, at least in terms of our pending referrals, also have mental health issues and developmental disabilities, which arguably is covered under our existing funding sources. And these people need help. And I'm concerned that they shouldn't be disadvantaged as Portage County residents because they're in a nursing home and a guardianship can't be appointed because of this policy.
Like, I have a follow-up question to something you had said. I know that in the past, when I've tried to get wards on Medicaid, that Medicaid will often cover like past due medical bills, right? So my question is, and because I do not know the answer, if you have somebody in-house that could research whether we could put on the bill, right, a $500 charge or whatever it is, right, for that, and have it deemed a medical bill of some sort, and then get that covered by Medicaid.
Right.
I don't know, I'm just trying to think outside the box here, right?
Right.
And
But
we can
that's-
contact Medicaid as well.
Yeah, that's
Because most of
something
these are
that,
Medicaid.
I guess it's gonna depend upon how it shows on your bill, is what I'm thinking, right? But I don't know if that's something that we could consider looking at.
Right.
Can I ask a question, please? I don't think there's a DSM that covers a Medicaid application like that, but I don't know. I mean, I suppose it's worth some research. I unfortunately, because of some personal issues, I missed the last meeting. The meeting prior to that, when you talked about application fees, I thought that was kind of tabled permanently. How did the $1,000 come up with? I mean, most clients don't have $1,000 if they need a public guardian. So how are the nursing homes supposed to come up with this? How are any of the facilities supposed to come up with this when these people, we don't even know what's in their accounts? We don't, I mean, many of them are just on SSI and that's $1,000 a month. Who is supposed to come up with the fee?
That the referral fee was to be coming from the nursing home facility or the care facility itself, not from the client's account. And it was because the care facility was making the referral to us, and the board had taken the position
Got it.
that if we're going to accept these referrals from the care facility, then the fee would help offset our operating costs and expenses to initiate the guardianship and to manage it.
Okay. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No,
I
no,
just,
That's fine to clarify. I
Thanks.
appreciate that.
Anything else to add?
That's it. Thank you so much.
Do you have any comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that after we had our GSB strategic planning meeting a couple of weeks ago, and we discussed this issue preliminarily among ourselves, we did have the case presented. Mike had asked us to re-examine one of these people because of her urgent condition. And so Amy, because we have capacity to take on another case, allowed us to go ahead and initiate that. We did it on an expedited basis, and we do have the hearing for that next week to try and get this proposed ward the assistance and the support that she needs. But like I said, one of these on our list passed away before a determination could be made, which is unfortunate that we couldn't get to that person in time. And I know part of the reason our agency exists is because we didn't want people on waiting lists dying before they could have a guardian appointed. With respect to the 3 others, like I said, the remaining 3 that haven't been addressed have either a mental health anxiety disorder or schizophrenia or chronic health issues that require immediate intervention. So part of what we had discussed was, as long as we have capacity to take these cases, if there's an urgent need for these people to receive services, we should perhaps suspend the policy and get the assistance. So I put it out there for the board's discussion.
Any
May I
comments?
ask a question? So, I'm sorry I couldn't hear your name. I do appreciate your
Mike
comment
Dinallo.
and you being here today. Okay. So while you're in lieu here, what's going on with these individuals? Is there no guardian? Are you just is your social worker just kind of dealing with these issues with these individuals?
There's different situations that come up. In some cases, when a resident admits there's family that's just not willing or able to be to stand in place as a guardian, we do ask if they would be willing to go through the process, and if so, we would get the expert eval and give them the documentation to fill out the guardianship application. I think there is it's a $250 or $350 fee for that, which can be a barrier in some cases. Most recently, we had a resident whose daughter died, and she was the POA, and we have nobody. The other siblings will not stand up, and she has nobody. So, does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Candy, I think it's a challenge, right?
Yeah.
Because we want to be the guardian of last resort, right? We don't want to be, for any of our potential wards, we don't want to be just the easy out for family members because they don't want to step up to the plate to take that responsibility. But at the same time, we can appreciate that Mike and his counterparts have a struggle. If the person needs medical attention and they don't have anybody to make those decisions, or if they need to get on Medicaid so that the facility can continue to, get paid to take care of them, we understand that. I want to be clear about something you had mentioned earlier though, Diana, the one individual ward that passed away before we could file the application. I'm a little concerned that it sounds like because we didn't file the application, she passed away. And I don't believe that that's the case. I believe that even had we filed the application, she may have succumbed to her passing because of her healthcare conditions.
Agreed.
Okay, just want to be clear about that. Obviously, the board isn't in the position of, letting people die. So
No.
I just want to be very clear about that.
And I don't mean to imply that, but I do know because there was one case, it was actually the first case we filed on. And this person has been in the stack of 12 pending guardianship referrals along with her sister. Her sister passed away while in that stack waiting to have a guardian appointed. By the time we finally got appointed, she ended up passing away, I think within 48, 72 hours. It had nothing to do with, if we could only have applied sooner. But on the other hand, I always felt in that case, if somebody had been able to intercede maybe 6 months earlier, perhaps some decisions could have been made that could have helped their quality of life. I mean, sometimes it's not even about extending their life. A lot of it's about, approval for hospice care and things like that, or approval for supportive services. So with the case of this particular person who passed away, I think like 5 weeks after we got the referral, I think the nursing home in that case, it wasn't Woodlands, probably should have requested assistance sooner. Don't know why they didn't, but it was fairly, late in this person's care that they reached out to us. So, yeah, your point's well taken. It's not because we weren't appointed that they passed away.
Thank you.
But I always like to think that we can, once we're allowed to intercede, can do things to help improve their quality of life and perhaps extend their life.
Understood.
Could I make one more comment, please? And I keep thinking of the guardianship board as a service. And maybe that's not the right way to think it, but much like the clerk of courts is a service, and in order to get to the court, you have to be able to file something. So there are exceptions made, but all of their costs have to be based on actual cost. It's not on profit. And certainly, I'm not saying the guardianship board is making a profit, but what I am asking is, the application fee that is currently set, how was that determined? Is it actually based on the cost of that application fee? Or is it just something we pulled out of the air because it sounds good and sounds reasonable? I don't think the sounds good and sounds reasonable would hold up legally if somebody decided to challenge it. And if indeed someone sits on the list without a guardian, when there's a public service available, and they are worse off because of they're sitting on the list, I think as a public agency, there's a problem. And there are a lot of us out there looking for problems, not that I'm one of them, but
Well, I
You
thank
know,
you for your
it's-
comments. I encourage you to apply to take some additional guardianships if you feel that you can.
I already
because
do.
we are
Thank you.
quite limited in what we can take. Candy, in light of everything
And
that.
I point out that I don't charge for everything.
I appreciate that, I'm sure the court does as well. Thank you, Pat. Candy, in light of everything that Mike has shared with us today, I know in the past, you, John, and I have had some conversations about our concern for serving the clients that come from the funding sources. In light of the spreadsheet that Diana has provided us today, that many of the people on this list do come from DD or MH. Are you in agreement with suspending the MOU so that we could potentially look at other options, maybe the one that I spoke with Mike about, to see if there could be some type of fee that would be paid by Medicaid and call it a back medical or something along those lines? Would you be in agreement with suspending that until we can do some further research?
I would be.
Okay.
And Amy, I also think since we know that Social Security's rep payees are allowed to pay, county administrative fees as we have submitted already, perhaps that's something else that we could do is submit an invoice for $50 a month that gets paid out of the rep payee account.
Yeah. My only concern about that is when you have that in our Medicaid resident, don't they have a patient liability number and then they get their $50 a month into their personal needs accounts? Are you talking about submitting it against the personal needs account?
No, again, it would be inquiring of Medicaid whether we
Whether we could get that
get that.
and it would reduce
Exactly.
their
The patient liability portion.
Yeah.
That's I think what I'm
Right.
trying to think of as well, is if
Correct.
we could build something into that.
Because if Medicaid will let that be offset off the patient liability, then, it serves all of our needs.
Right, understood. Okay.
Thank you very much, I
So we
appreciate
will
it.
suspend that until further discussion.
Thank you.
So, I
Thank
know.
you, Mike, for your time and for attending today. Greatly appreciate it.
Yes.
Yes,
So-
thank you.
The board had previously asked me to provide a monthly report on the referrals
Yes.
and how that stacks up. So I gave you two documents. One is a typed summary showing the numbers, and the other is this spreadsheet. That's the referral report of January through April.
See
So,
that spreadsheet, is that spreadsheet in that one there?
yeah, it's in the packet. It should be at the back if you don't have it.
I don't think I see that. Maybe it just didn't get on this one.
So
Look here.
it's behind,
Oh, is it this one here?
yeah,
Oh, okay, I was working off that one. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. So as you can see, we've been averaging about 4 referrals a month, January, February, and March. We've had 4 each and 3 in April. Of those, 4 came from the probate court, 6 came from care facilities, 2 from APS, 2 from Coleman, and 1 from a mental health hospital. In terms of the demographics, we have 9 men and 6 women in that group. The majority, 12, are over the age of 60. And of the diagnosis, 7 of these referrals had a mental health diagnosis, 4 had a DD diagnosis, and 7 had a dementia diagnosis. And some of these were a combination of like MH and dementia. So that kind of gives you a breakdown of where we are. I think our referrals have kind of flattened out, which is a good thing. Unfortunately, balanced against the wards that we've lost. I thought we would probably be at 65 cases by now, and we're at 52 because we've lost so many wards in the last few months. And I'm sure this will continue mainly because by the time somebody comes to us for a public guardianship, they're often in very unfortunate situations in terms of their physical health. And so, like I explained earlier, of the 13 wards or prospective wards that passed away, 10 of them passed away less than a year from the referrals. So that explains, and that's 16% of all of our referrals, our wards or prospective wards that passed away. So I hope this gives you the insight that you've been wanting with respect to our referrals and
I think that's
their
very helpful.
demographics. Any questions on that, Candy?
No,
Okay.
we're good, thank you.
All right.
Sounds good.
Then, in that case, I'm through with the executive director's report. I'm happy to take any questions or address any other issues.
I'd like to submit our MOU
Thank
to the
you.
board, if you guys want to review it. I did not sign off on it yet, but
Sure.
I thought maybe if you guys wanted to review it
Thank you.
and then get back to me and I can sign it.
Okay.
Okay, that sounds great. We'll take a look at that and then,
Candy, I'll go ahead and scan it and send you a copy so you can review it, and hopefully we can get John's input as well. And then, once we receive the board's input, I'll get back to you, Judge.
Okay.
Perfect. Let you know we're good on it.
Because you can get people to sign it and then
Is it signed off on by the board or by me?
by
board.
each of the board members,
Okay.
I believe.
No, it's actually John Venetti, John Garrity, and you, the
And-
judge,
and
not the
Judge,
board.
That's right,
Yeah.
that's right, sorry.
Okay, because
Correct.
they're on the original MOU. Gotcha. Makes sense.
Yeah.
sounds great. Thank you. Okay, seeing nothing else on the agenda, Candy, can I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
And I will second that. We are adjourned at 10:40.
Thank you so